Hello, everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I am the Dark Prince of Nerd Media, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Bradley Ellis.
Ka-chow.
Michael Huber.
Howdy.
Brendan Jones.
I am Speed.
And Ian Hink.
I am the shadow of a waxwing slain.
Ooh.
Better.
That sounded like a lyric.
We got outdone, Brad.
What do you mean I'm a talking car?
Nobody outdid Ka-chow.
Mater.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow, Mater.
I said ka-chow. Jones, if you would, please begin corrections music. So, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus keeps popping up in our corrections.
Yeah.
Because we have people doubling down on both sides. We do not know if that game is coming out February 18th or not.
Oh, okay.
So they're not scrubs?
It's potential.
Benmore said they're scrubs.
Jones, we may have a situation where we discover that maybe Ben Moore is the scrub.
No.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, it might happen.
We should have talked about this off camera.
Yeah.
This is...
So basically what happens is if the game comes out February 18th, we don't do corrections anymore.
Okay.
Forever.
Ever at all?
Yeah. Because then what's the point? If the corrections aren't right, you know, we just by the nature of our own duty, we just have to cancel them. However, if the game does not come out on February 18th, Ben becomes a scrub.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So it's a lose-lose.
It's a lose-lose.
Can you put like a lower third for him whenever he's on the podcast?
Yes.
Just not his Twitter account.
And if he wins, yeah, he cannot give his Twitter handle. He has to say, I am a scrub. Yeah, it's just the way this thing works. That's just our system.
Okay.
It's unfortunate.
I mean, maybe we could amend our constitution, but like...
this far into it?
All right, yeah, okay. Death Stranding on PC will be published by 505 Games.
Yes.
End corrections music, please. It's time to play Tough Bouncers. Now, this is where, of course, Easy Allies, we're well known for running the most popular club in LA for video game characters. Huge
Which I'm
club.
proud of. Like, really, good job, guys. Like, I just feel... The studio was great, but we've had this...
Yeah.
We've been at this for a really long time. And
It's bleeding a lot of money, but it's worth it.
I know, yeah.
pay
Well, so
off.
is Easy Allies in
It's
general.
worth it.
You know what I mean?
It's going to pay off. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait till everyone's in town for E3.
Yeah.
This place will be thumping.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
problem is
dude.
the club's full every night.
No Sony characters, though. See what I did there? See what I did there?
Yeah,
Nice.
but like we should raise prices, I think.
Maybe we got to raise prices because the thing is we have to turn away video game characters every
true.
single
We
night.
have to serve something other than just sake, and maybe, they'll buy more of it.
Huh. I didn't think about that. That's a
Yeah.
good idea. Write some of this stuff down.
Yeah, like beer.
In fact, if in the corrections, do you know how to run a dance club? Help us out. Okay. But we have two video game characters who we need to decide if they're going to get into our party or not. First up, Agent 47 from the Hitman franchise.
Wow.
This submission's from Joetown, who says, look, he's going to get in anyway.
I know,
Yeah,
exactly.
He doesn't need our permission.
I'm
all
even sure it's him.
He says
Yeah.
he might already be in there.
Yeah.
If we invite him, he might scare away the creeps he's supposed to assassinate. So if Hitman 47 must walk in, Agent 47, excuse me, must walk in, maybe, there won't be a ruckus.
But like
He doesn't want to be seen. You know what I mean?
And like the people he has to kill might spend good money.
All right, here's our other option.
Like, it could be Dan. I don't want to lose Dan.
Dan from Street Fighter?
Yes.
Oh, boy.
He's a good patron.
Nobody
Yes.
lays a finger on Dan in our club.
Now, there's a Hitman game. Him killing other video game characters?
Yes. And it is like the kind of jokey ones, man.
Probably
yeah.
a Newgrounds game.
Be really
The other option is Mayor Pauline from Super Mario Odyssey. When you have the hottest club in town, you need connections. So a good connection with the mayor of one of the coolest towns, she knows people, and you need more women at the club from Shy.
Plus, she's a performer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's gonna have to get up on that stage.
But does she want to?
I think she's just here to
If
party.
she wants to,
Does she
Yeah.
want to? I mean, come on.
If
I'm
Will
worried she'll
Smith
be
is going to your club, is he going to start just hopping up and doing Miami?
I'm worried,
Yeah, I'd give it a 40% chance.
Okay. Sorry,
I'm worried she'll be disappointed with our club and then just like take it over.
No, our club's great, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you mean disappointed with our
Okay.
club?
Yeah.
I mean,
Hubert,
New
come on,
Donk
man.
City that's quite a club they got. I don't know. I'm nervous about this. I'm nervous about both picks.
She'll be even more upset if we turn her away. She'll shut us down through the law.
But
True.
if we turn away Agent 47, there will be a murder in our club.
Maybe he'll just sneak in.
Does he not always kill someone? I feel like it's called Hitman. It's always a murder is your goal,
But
right?
no one's gonna find out about it. You know, like 2 weeks later, we'll go into the freezer and find the corpse in there, and then we'll just,
And we've
dispose
got
of it
interns
the
for
way you
that.
normally dispose of corpses.
Yeah.
Is Pauline there to just hang out or perform?
It sounds
It's
like
up to
she's,
her.
It sounds like she's there to rub elbows, if anything.
So hang out.
Not hang, but
Like make
schmooze.
connections. Okay.
Yes.
On our behalf or on her behalf?
On her behalf.
I think it's a win-win.
Yeah.
Of Ling Pauline it?
Yeah.
Yeah, me
so.
too.
Think of the crossovers.
Hitman's a liability.
Think of the
Okay.
publicity. Mayor
Yes.
Pauline
Yeah.
goes to our club.
In our club?
Yeah.
It's got to be on TMZ?
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. All right,
I don't feel
Pauline.
comfortable having
you're in.
Agent 47's phone number or email address or however we're going to contact him. I mean, just that alone.
Oh,
Makes me
he was.
nervous.
It's imagine they're both in line at the club.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're standing next to each other, and we
Yeah,
have to
just-
look at Agent 47 and say,
Yeah,
"You
eye
out.
contact.
You in."
Who's doing that?
Damiani.
Damiani. of course.
Damiani.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's why it's the game called Tough Bouncers.
muscle.
It's not
Yeah.
easy. You got to make eye contact.
It's got the spirals.
No. All right. So, news this week. We have some project announcements. Not
Okay.
quite game announcements. Not quite my favorite way to start a podcast. But a project's a thing.
Yeah.
It's the seed of a game.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Ninja Theory, I didn't even write it down. Ninja Theory made an announcement for Project Mara this week. And I want to use their phrasing because it's very particular. Project Mara will be a real-world and grounded representation of mental terror. Based on real-lived experience accounts and in-depth research, our aim is to recreate the horrors of the mind as accurately and realistically as possible. So they released a trailer. Which is, the trailer looks good. I thought I was looking at like an actual real stairwell, and it's like, oh no, this is just some next gen stuff right here, I guess. But it did seem like a horror game, and then you read into their description of Project Mara, and it sounds like it continues on. If you watch like the developer diaries for Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, it was a lot about like, hey, we learned a lot about mental health, and we're trying to communicate it through this video game. It looks like a lot of what Ninja Theory is trying to do is keep that going through other video games, even outside of what Senua was all about. And that seems like what Project Mara is into.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm down. Yeah. Something different.
Yeah. And that's it. I mean, all we got was a teaser trailer.
It's not. It's first person, right?
The trailer was at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they usually just do third person action games, so it'll be interesting to see them do something different, I guess.
Yeah.
Especially with Hellblade 2 coming up.
Yeah.
I imagine this like being pretty small scale. I can imagine this being something
Yeah,
along the lines
sure.
of like an Erica, like a one isolated
Hopefully
thing,
like
like
a
a
Edith
small
Finch.
scale thing.
Edith Finch thing or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
They said it
Scale.
has one character in one location.
Yeah.
It looked almost VR to me.
One house.
And I think that's a good point. I think when you're trying to say something with a video game, most often you want to keep it short.
Yeah.
Because when you have a message and then you're also grinding, you lose your message over the grinding. You know, when you're just
Collecting
padding out your
items.
game, you kind of lose your message sometimes. And so I'm way cool with that.
Yeah,
And-
me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw social media actually kind of mixed on the issue, and it is interesting that when you see, I think of like That Dragon Cancer. I remember a lot of people were upset at these parents that had lost their child and then gone out and made this game that they're like, you're capitalizing on this loss, and they're like, we're doing the exact opposite of that.
Yeah.
This is how we process that grief, and we want to educate people, and we think it's an interesting psychological experiment, and so it's. I just want to comment to the stuff that I saw because I don't really have a definitive opinion on this. That if you have an indie developer coming out and making a project like this, it's interesting when you have somebody like Ninja Theory that's won awards and has a lot of, this is presumably made some money on Senua already, and now is putting that into this gigantic, the first big thing we've really seen that we know was running on, the Xbox Series X. It feels a little bit different. It feels kind of like, yeah, we're going to make this awesome game about mental illness. And it's like, I don't know how people that might have that mental illness would feel about that. To be like, well, I don't know if I really want it perceived as like an awesome horror thing, or, I don't know. It's
I will say, just based off what they've communicated, they can't be being more careful.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
That's why
The
I'm
The people
for
they're
it.
employing and
That's why I'm
talking
for
to,
it.
and they can't be.
I'm
like,
not saying I am distressed about it, or I think they
Yeah.
will do it poorly, but it is an interesting thing to like wrap the entire studio around. you
Yeah.
know, and make it like a huge initiative going forward.
Well,
in terms of making and selling a game, you know, and not just like we're doing this to donate to this charity or we're doing this to create this thing. Like we're making more games about this.
So when they announced Bleeding
It's
Edge as
sticky.
their next game, part of the disappointment is not just like, hey, come on, a hero brawler, whatever. But part of it's just like, oh, you were doing something with your last game. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you were doing. And so I think that there are people at the studio who still want to do something for sure. And I see this as like multiple branches.
Yeah. I'm sure they have tons of ideas they want to do.
Yeah, because they're also working on something another project.
It was kind of funny in that video, the video that announced Project Mara. I know it was mostly focusing on the mental research stuff, but he was like, "We're done with Bleeding Edge, so now we get to do." It felt like they were like, "We're done with that," you know. So now we
done
do
with our,
what we
like,
want to
money
do.
game.
Yeah.
Money game.
The Insight project is another totally different game that they're working on. I think another
Wow,
one.
they got a lot of games.
Yeah, so they've got
Jeez.
Bleeding Edge, Insight Project, Senua's Saga, and Project Mara, all from the studio.
Wow, 4.
And that is the influence of Microsoft dollars.
I was gonna say first
Thank you,
party now.
Microsoft.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
'cause
hey.
Ninja Theory is amazing.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Very, very cool story.
Huber's been singing about Ninja Theory for
I
6
love
years.
'em. Love them to pieces.
Actually,
And it's
how
just,
long?
Yeah, I love that these conversations take place, and all I can really do is like, you know, support the people behind it, and you know, like hope they're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
So and
It
just
was
seems like it.
Journey of the West that I think
Enslaved.
Enslaved.
When did that come out?
that sold it for you,
Like,
I'd say.
2007, 8, 9.
Yeah, they-
somewhere
because
in
it's
there.
Hellblade 20.
Heavenly Sword or whatever.
sorry, yeah.
Heavenly
before-
Sword, and that was like a
Heavenly
launch
Sword.
title, right? Or a launch year
No,
at least?
I don't think it was a
near-
launch title.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's close.
Okay. Yeah.
Andy Serkis.
Strange path that studio's been on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
October 5th, 2010, Ian.
2010.
Very clutch. That is when Enslaved came out. So yeah,
Yes.
10 years of great games.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. We got another project that was announced this week, and I don't even want to talk about this one. Project Xehanort.
Xehanort.
Project Xehanort is a mobile game in the Kingdom Hearts universe. Will be canon.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
other one
you
is.
know,
It's all
that's gonna be
canon.
Yeah, they all are.
It's all
Um,
connected.
And I think actually, Brad, I think it is the same team that worked on the Key
Oh, really? Okay.
game.
I hope it's a little different.
Yeah. We don't have any details right now.
Right.
They are holding a contest for people to guess what the title of this game
Oh,
will
dude,
be.
I should enter that.
yeah, you should.
Is that like?
Are they just gonna pick the one they like and then name them the
I
winner?
wonder-
We should
Yeah.
all enter that.
yeah.
It's kind of acknowledging that your titles are nonsense. To be like, we're
Yeah.
having a contest to guess the title. Like,
Yeah.
you'll never guess. Of
What if
course we
that's-
won't.
what if-
No, we won't guess.
We should design an AI that like generates Kingdom Hearts titles and like JRPG titles. Just
Yes.
nonsense words like
Yeah, feed it-
remind
feed it
and,
the
and
AI,
like
yeah.
parentheses and dashes and stuff.
Please.
What if it's like finally the easiest title and it's just like Kingdom Hearts Xehanort?
Mm-hmm.
I will feel like I got in that case. I'm like, okay, you got me.
Take that.
Yeah.
All you people make fun of him.
But that could be anything.
Of course you can. Yeah.
Which is weird that they announce it before we see it.
Oh, so they did show at
That's
least
one
stream
image
it.
shot.
They
or
showed the
something.
image of Xehanort playing chess. So I believe this is you see the path in which young Xehanort took.
That's
to
what I'm
become
hoping. It's a
an evil
prequel.
man.
Yeah.
So it will tell a story.
Yes.
The Xehanort
Oh, count on a
origins.
story,
Dude, what
Jones.
if you play as Xehanort?
That'd be sick.
Dude.
And then you just have a bunch of bad days, bad day after bad day after bad day, and you're like, you know what? The dark is cool.
Zayn Origins.
I like this power.
It's kind of like that movie from last year where that guy he like wants to be a comedian, but he like has like he gets like beat up. He's like has the sign, and then he gets like mugged in an alley.
Avengers
And then-
Endgame?
No.
Oh.
He like wears makeup, and then like
Little Nicky?
he gets fired. Yeah. I can't remember so many movies from last year. I
It
can't
was
remember.
2019,
Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of movies.
oh, the Joker.
No,
not-
Rise of
it's not the
Skywalker.
Joker.
No.
It's not the Joker.
It was like an award-winning indie type of movie. You know what I mean? It was like
Well,
very,
that's
it was a very
surprising.
subversive, unpredictable kind of film.
Booksmart?
1917.
Is it Booksmart?
Might have been.
Okay, so we got another really interesting headline from a very particular website, Video Games Chronicle. They had this. It's an interesting headline, right? But I like it's. We get into some nitty gritty of Ubisoft that I love.
Yeah, let's do it.
Headline is exclusive. Ubisoft revamps editorial team to make its games more unique. And so we talked about what Eve said last year when they made their big delays and said we need more differentiation between our big titles. We're canceling some, we're delaying them. We biffed 2019, and we're not going to let that happen again. But I want to read like the first 3 paragraphs of the story because I find this stuff very interesting. Okay. For 2 decades, the creative direction of Ubisoft's games and IPs has been overseen by the editorial team, a Paris-based group of around 100 designers and producers who advise on everything from game design to script writing. Basically, Ubisoft had the Patriots.
I was just saying.
Yeah.
Yes. Metal Gear?
Yes.
The lolly luli low.
Yes. While they don't create games themselves, the team has a huge impact on development teams across the company. Historically, editorial's influence has resulted in cohesive vision across all Ubisoft titles, and learnings from one project feeding into the next. It was the editorial team that drove the company towards open world and systemic games, pushed online elements, and insisted that its narratives had a thematic basis in the real world, but avoided taking a political stance. How cool. So Ubisoft had
Yeah, behind the scenes. I love this.
this group of 100 people who never worked on games themselves, but worked on all of the games. And made sure they had this unified Ubisoft vision.
It felt that
did
way.
some of these people work on the games? Because it's 100 like designers, right?
Yeah.
So did they also work on the game? But then you also get like picked for this group.
I don't know, dude.
You know?
Yeah.
Like
I think if you're part of Ubisoft editorial, you work on all the games.
They were probably doing like research too and just seeing what people liked.
Oh, because
and
it's
what
100
sold.
people?
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
It's like you could even do that in past like Assassin's Creed games, I think. Like tell them what you liked about the game or something like that. Yeah. It's like, oh, people like this kind of open world game. Like doing it like this structure. Let's make a lot of our games like that.
So here's what's cool, though. The chief creative officer, Sergei Haskue, he was basically at the head of all of this. Everything went up to Sergei.
Liquid Ocelot.
Yeah, maybe Liquid Ocelot. Yeah, maybe he's like in that level.
The fox.
Liquid Sergei.
He hasn't been demoted. However,
Scolded.
those beneath him have been nerfed. So, sorry, they've been buffed. So he hasn't been nerfed, but they buffed. So now editorial, Ubisoft editorial will have 7 vice presidents.
Whoa.
And this stuff isn't rumor. This is stuff they've announced at this point. So there will be 7 vice presidents who are each in charge of different franchises. And they're allowed to do whatever they want with those franchises. Sergey will oversee everything, but these 7 VPs get to decide what they do with their franchises.
So say one of these VPs is in charge of Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
Then how does that does that VP then override the creative director, the game director of say Assassin's Creed
Yes.
Ragnarok?
And they're saying
the next one?
that's how it's been working, except Sergey was overriding everybody.
Got it.
Yeah.
So now instead of 1 person, it's 7.
Yes.
Got it.
And but basically, and some of it was direct interviews, direct quotes from Ubisoft, and some was sorry, when you don't credit the person in an interview. Anonymous. We had some anonymous sources at Ubisoft who said that, yeah, man, like they did override everything. Basically, if editorial made a call, you just implemented it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, what is Sergey gonna do now?
He oversees it.
Consultant.
I honestly think he did get nerfed, and they just didn't want to admit that.
It seems like they tried to like make him resign or whatever, and he just didn't,
Right.
or something.
It
I mean, I
kinda
have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, he still has his title. He's still chief creative officer or whatever. But yeah, I think
Cushy.
I like this move because like Ubisoft kind of stumbled there at the end of this generation.
Well, the way you said it, it sounds like they screwed up all of 2019, where it was mostly Breakpoint. Like, what else did they do?
Division 2 came out strong and then just
they had
dipped.
huge expectations.
It
for
delayed
Division.
a lot of its stuff, right? So I
Yeah,
thought
there
that
was a lot
it
of
needed that one huge update right after.
Yeah.
And it didn't get it in time, I think.
Yeah,
Division 2 just kind of buckled.
Huh.
yeah. And then I think they were looking at some of their projects. So apparently, a very big project at Ubisoft Montreal was just outright canceled. That was it was like nearly done. So yeah, I think there's more beefing than we were even aware of in 2019.
I wonder if that's why we saw so little of Gods and Monsters, because they still were going to keep the concept,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it just not. They're like,
Yeah, I think it
We're
wasn't
still gonna
that one,
work.
but you're right. I think they don't want to show too much.
No, because
yeah,
that
exactly.
obviously didn't get canceled. But
Yeah.
we still don't really know, like, how does that play? What is that,
Yeah.
Is this just going to play like another classic, Ubisoft open world game? It's interesting because it sounds like Ubisoft is like the anti-Activision. Because like with Activision, every Call of Duty is very different, like that just, skips all over the place.
Yeah.
Dodging and weaving, it's like almost you need to not do what the previous COD did. Otherwise, nobody's going to buy in. We were surprised that the new, COD this year didn't have Battle Royale, but it's kind of like, of course it didn't, because they want you to still play the old one. But I don't know. I kind of liked. I did like it for a while, especially with Division, because I felt like, so many people looking right at Anthem, like really stumbled immediately for everything because they didn't know what to do with the structure. And I felt Division really knew what to do because they were learning lessons from other online games. They were learning what worked in other Ubisoft games. And I thought they applied all those lessons really well. So I'm happy about this and not happy at the same time. I'm really surprised at how embarrassed they were from 2019.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like, when I played Breakpoint, it wasn't like, oh, there's just some systemic issue with all of Ubisoft corporate. It's like, no, you guys just clearly made a worse game than Wildlands. Like, it's very obvious what you did before and didn't do now.
I think it's just the straw that broke it, because
Yeah.
it's like going from Odyssey and then to Division and then to Breakpoint.
Didn't
And
Odyssey do well, though?
Odyssey did great, but it's just that like vibe, right? The Ubisoft template.
Well, and
Yeah.
you had Far Cry before that, too.
Far Cry, but just like going into Breakpoint, you feel the fatigue even more so when the game isn't good. Like the reason I don't feel Assassin's Creed fatigue usually is because like it's always good. I always like them. It's never really bad. But I think when there's a bad one,
Yeah.
that then you just start kind of resenting it, and you're like, this is always the same. I wish they'd take more time. Because I am kind of on the fence of like, I love that Assassin's Creed is an annual franchise, but wouldn't the dream be that there is no disconnected overseeing council of this? Shouldn't it be just like, let's make this a family again. Let's have like one studio working on this game with love and care, and now it's just this big,
I think they have way too many
massive
people for that
corporate
now.
machine. Yeah.
They
yeah.
have way too much for that now.
Yeah.
But their games are similar. And
Oh,
I selfishly
A lot of
love that because I love all their games because they very much fit into a structure that I enjoy very much. Like a lot of people hate that checklist stuff, and like I crave it. So no complaints from me. It just
right, but the complaints come from the
I played
shareholders.
the hell out of
don't they?
Breakpoint, but I could still recognize
Yeah, I
that
think
it was an
you're right.
inferior effort compared to what they had done previously.
Yeah.
And so I almost wonder if there's a danger in being so. I mean, this was not an official report from them. There are parts of this that they have talked about.
Yes.
But I wonder if it's almost a little bit dangerous to make such a big, to like blare the trumpets that like we are making changes, because then it's like, oh, well, okay, well then I'm really gonna look at the next Assassin's Creed with a critical eye, not just cool, another one. Now it's like, oh, well, let's see what they did. I mean, like I would have just thought it would be another Assassin's Creed, but I mean, you said you were doing all this stuff, so let's see.
Yeah.
And if it's just like okay, then it's like, well, it didn't work. Whatever you did.
And I think that's the problem is we won't see these changes in Watch Dogs
Yeah,
or
for a
Assassin's
while.
Creed. We won't see them this year.
Yeah, I'm
You're not gonna
worried.
see that.
Yeah, I'm worried Ragnarok was too far along. Or
It
whatever.
totally
Oh,
is.
for
It
sure
absolutely
was.
is.
So
Yeah.
I'm worried that it's just
But
gonna
like
feel
they
so
took a
similar.
year off already from it, so hopefully they did some things to change it.
Yeah.
The last of its type. It will be
Maybe.
the last Ubisoft game with Watchtowers.
Yeah, you're right. Watch Dogs
Odyssey felt like the end of an era. That's why all this news is exciting, and I want them to really shake it up. Because to me, Odyssey did feel like, okay, we've taken this template all the way. This
Yeah,
is the
you're right.
culmination of this template. Got to change it up now.
yeah.
Yeah, trim it down.
Yeah, trying to do something.
Trim the
And
fat.
I think like just as like a fan of video games, I'm very excited by this council of 7 sages, the 7 vice presidents, who will oversee all of Ubisoft's projects, and they all have their own specialties. It's just so neat in a weird way.
Yeah.
I do appreciate
Knights of the
they do
Round.
some weird stuff though every now and then. Like they did all the Rayman games, they did Mario and Rabbids,
Yeah.
they did Star Fox, Starlink, right?
Yep.
They did
Yeah.
that. They did
That
the
sweet dirt bike
roller
game.
champions, whatever
I
it's
want
called.
that game.
Still not out.
Still
Still
not
not
out.
out.
Yeah.
But like they're trying weird stuff, which I
Trials.
like.
Trials, thank you.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Steep,
Dude, they
which
are
I didn't like, but it was close. Like I would be
Steep
excited
2.
for Steep 2.
Steep
We're
2.
never gonna get another SSX apparently, so it's like if Steep's all I got, I'll put my chips on Steep. Sure.
What was the Ubisoft car game? The Crew.
The Crew.
Crew.
Did
And
you like that?
I barely play the Crew.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the Crew was the
Blood
Crew the
liked
open
it.
world one?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, the Crew
Blood was
too I had
into
fun
it.
with.
It played by Ubisoft rules.
Flying,
you're right.
flying from the East Coast to the West Coast in the Crew was interesting. It was immersive in a weird way, being in the cockpit and just flying over trees and trees and trees, and then like, oh, here comes Chicago. I dug that. Like, it's why I'm kind of curious to check out Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Oh, that'll
Immersive,
be way
baby.
different.
That's a franchise
Yes.
I've never really dipped in.
Dude, Jones in the
it's-
flight simulator.
It's also
Open world. Oh, so you talk about open world, open Earth, baby.
And I just imagine like Jones talking to his passengers, and right now we're just you know he's gonna be like talking out loud.
But it seems it's just a fascinating story. I'm fascinated by Ubisoft because I think they've really done a fantastic job this generation across the not like with everything, but I think like overall I think they can call this gen a win. And it's interesting that I think they much more. I mean, you have companies like Rockstar, you have companies like the EA that has that makes a ton of money. They have big hits, but it's not just like across the board that you see them making so many people happy. And so it's interesting that this almost kind of speaks to how you handle this, how you manage this many franchises that are always coming out with stuff, how you're like, yes, Assassin's Creed is coming back, but here, look at this weird rollerblade game. You try to do both at the same time. It's just like, it's like Overcooked, man. It's just like, yeah, we got 10 pots going all at the same time.
It is
Ubisoft
so weird.
is like
And we're gonna
the
try not to burn
lifeblood
anything.
of the video game industry.
Right, because
I truly believe it.
Compare them to their
Huge.
two closest competitors, EA and Activision, and how many franchises they put out per year. It's not even close.
It seems like they're terrified to have that many plates
Yeah.
spinning. And so I just thought they were doing so well. It's fascinating to me that they were so like ashamed,
yeah.
like Samurai, just like, oh, I betrayed you. It's like, no, you were fine.
Yeah. I also feel like there was dissatisfaction despite their success.
It's when you try something wildly different and fail, I think it's more okay. When you're just repeating the template and it's failing, then that, like, let's shake it up.
So right, they were doing the same thing over and over and over. I think some people would be like, oh, man, I kind of hate this, but it keeps selling. We got to keep doing it. And then when it finally stopped, when it finally dipped, they're like, hey, does anyone have any problems? And everyone's like, yes, yes. What is the editorial? What is that? I think that probably sprung up the second it dipped. Like
They all
people's
rushed
frustrations
to the
came
tower
up.
and
Yes.
got to the top and like
Where's
got to
Sergey?
Sergey's office and
Yes.
kicked the door open.
Man, I love that. You know what? We'll talk about it for 1 second. Techland delayed Dying Light 2 from spring 2020 to who knows when.
when it's
Those
ready.
are always so intense.
That's
Those
really
delays,
intense because we're not
indefinitely.
close to spring 2020. Maybe we're kind of. I guess we're kind of
close,
close,
yeah.
right? But to delay it to no date at all is kind of freaky.
Wasn't Dying Light 1 a January release? Can we fact check that, Ian? Like a January, February? And it was so hot at the time. It was that classic January release.
Came out at a good
Nothing
time,
really
I
out.
remember.
Came out at
Yeah.
a good time. What if they're gearing up for like a 2021 January release?
Okay.
Next
Yeah.
gen.
Sure.
There it is.
January.
January 2015.
January
Dumb
26th.
audience
January
right here,
20
That's
remembering.
really good, Huber.
January
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah.
And that game is one of the leggiest games of the generation. That
Dying
game
Light?
had legs.
Yeah, the enhanced edition and with the expansion
People
and all
kept
that.
playing it.
Co-op.
Yeah.
Fascinating after all of the other postponements, though, that this is indefinite. That They're
Yeah.
just like, we'll let you know later.
Yeah.
And especially just because of like the major selling point of this game was that like this world's gonna go nuts when you make decisions, and then now they're like, we might. There's a chance we might have bit off a little bit more, and we could chew right now. Our mouth is full. We'll see you next year.
Yeah. Well, and I think we will not see them for the rest of this year.
Makes
I think you're
sense. Yeah, but
They'll be next gen then, yeah?
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I dug those demos.
Yep.
Both the last E3s. I'll see it at. Will they be at E3?
Yeah. They made a
Are they
slice
gonna
for
have
you.
a theater demo at E3? This
Okay,
is-
I'll make a bet that they won't be at E3.
I will. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. I mean, if they're saying no spring 2020, we'll tell you soon. What like, oh man. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it's okay. I don't think it hurts. I mean, they don't want to get too far into next gen to come out with this puppy on
Yeah.
PS4 and Xbox One, but
Good luck to you.
yeah.
All right.
So intrigued by the game.
So last week we had the NPDs. We missed them. And so we have NPDs this week. And they're not news 1 week later. You know what I mean? It's not spicy news. And so I'm going to use the NPDs as a framework for discussion with the Easy Allies because I think this might be interesting. Because it was the December NPDs, we had 12 full months of video game sales data for the U.S. But it's very interesting in not just its rankings, but what I want to play with our panel today is a game called 3, 2, 1 Impact. Now, we're going to talk about these games of 2019. I feel like we're deep enough into January to have some perspective on 2019, but not far enough away to be certain about the games that will have an impact later.
Right.
What impact will they have in the continuing years?
Kakarot.
Yes.
Impact.
No.
No
So
impact?
I would say
Okay.
Kakarot is a 1 or a 0. So there's 4 levels of impact.
Okay.
0, 1, 2, and 3.
You give it a 1.
I would maybe a
1.
0, dude.
Give it a 1. Throw it a 1.
Is-
Kyle.
Well, will it
I
inspire
like that it's
sequels?
not 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
It's 0
Yes.
is one.
Yeah.
of
Yes,
them.
I
it
think that'd
will.
be super
Okay, then it'd be a 1. Then it'd be a 1 or a 2 even. If there are other games trying to emulate it, if other games try to be that and it gets its own sequels, I'd give it a 2 at least.
Okay.
Cool.
That's kind of what I mean here. Is like is maybe not even just like does it get sequels, but do people keep talking about it?
Got it.
Do people write essays about it 2 years later? You know, that
I
kind
think
of
it'll earn
thing.
more than that One Piece game, and they seem similar. They're both like open worldy and
Dragon Ball's just bigger here, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so the number 1 game of 2019 is easy.
Call of Duty?
Yes, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, best-selling game of 2019. What's the impact rating on that?
I don't know. I didn't play it.
Doesn't matter. Do you think people are going to still talk about Modern Warfare from 2019 a year from now?
I don't.
Maybe like small aspects, not like a huge amount. No, they won't look back on it like they did with 4 or anything like
I
that.
agree.
Yeah, I don't think it had the impact of the first Modern Warfare.
I
or
mean,
Modern Warfare 2.
well,
No,
you
nothing
can't-
can.
You can't
I'm-
keep doing that, yeah.
To answer this, I'm trying to think of the Call of Duty games we still talk about now.
Yeah.
And the only ones are ever Modern Warfare 1 and 2.
I'd say Black Ops 1 and
I
maybe
love
Black Ops
Black
2.
Ops.
I love
Black
Call of
Ops.
Duty
Yeah.
too, just
Yeah.
normal too.
But for different reasons.
Yeah,
obviously.
of course, yeah.
Ghosts for all the wrong reasons, but yeah.
Yeah. And so I do. I wonder if this game has an impact after 2019. It's the best-selling game. More people bought that game than any other game.
It's tricky because the next Call of Duty is going to be on next-gen hardware, and technically, I mean, having not played it, the number one thing I remember just from all of the discourse around this Call of Duty was just like, this is going to be the best looking, the best sounding, the best.
yeah.
We are just literally making this as gritty and realistic as possible. Whereas, how is that not going to be the same conversation we're going to have next year?
Next gen, more
about
power.
this is going to be the prettiest, the best sounding,
The fish AI. Remember the fish AI at the beginning of this
Yes,
generation?
the dog. Yes.
The dog's jaw? Yeah,
Yep.
you're right. It was exactly that same pitch,
Wacky.
Jones.
Yeah, so
It's funny
I wonder
with
if that's going to
these-
kind of step on what they're
'cause-
saying this last year.
It's like a 3 and a 0, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like it sold the most, and it's gonna generate a sequel, obviously, but it's not generating the sequel, and the next one will sell good, even if this one bombed, you know. So it's like weird, yeah.
It is
3
weird.
and a 0. I like it. It's a 3 and a
I go
0.
3 though. I go
So
3
it's a
hard 'cause
1.5.
It's COD, man.
And what's weird is I think we're past an era where anyone's trying to emulate Call of Duty. I think there was definitely in the 360 era,
Medal of Honor.
like people were just trying to make their Call of Duty-fy their games, and you know Call of Duty's playing catch up now. They're like, hey, we need to do a
battle
royale. You know, it is strange.
Yeah.
You know, the last one before this was Black Ops 4, right? And then,
Yeah.
it was
World War
was
II.
World War
Infinite
II,
Warfare.
then Black Ops,
Yeah.
then okay.
Yeah,
I always like Call of Duty, but I will say after finishing this one, and I still dabble with multiplayer every once in a while. Played
Nice.
a couple days ago.
cool.
I will say this reaffirmed the fact yet again. It was like a shot in the arm of I'll take a Call of Duty every year. This one really did that for me, where it's like, okay, you know, this is I love this.
Yeah.
It was like the definitive. It is what it is. I love this. I'm in for the next ones.
Yeah,
You know.
I get it. You get a three.
Whereas Black Ops 4, I was like, you know, Call of Duty. You know, kind of getting tired of it a little bit.
Well, there's no campaign, so that might hurt it
Yeah.
for you too.
Yeah. But this really made me lock it in.
So I don't think this panel is going to be able to guess what the number 2 game of 2019 was.
FIFA?
Remember, we're just
Grand
talking
Theft
about
Auto 5.
NBA 2K20.
I was
this
gonna
game-
say another sports game.
With really
2K20.
2K20, yeah.
Yeah.
Slot machine.
Yes.
2K20.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. They keep doing it because it works.
Yeah.
Wow. Shocked. Shocking.
And we know for sure it will be top 3 next year.
Yeah.
2K21, you know, just like the
gonna
NBA
sell,
2K
baby.
games
Yeah.
are beloved.
It's fascinating because it's like it sells so well, performs so well, and yet You can't talk about it on a podcast. I think if you stream it, no one would watch.
Yeah.
It's like its own industry almost. It's just like it's such a fascinating thing.
I watched
to
I
exhibit.
watched some streams.
There
We
was
should stream it. I
no,
love
there was
2K.
no 2K20 advertisement during the Game Awards. There was not, not even
just-
mentioned.
they don't
It's
need
like-
to.
Yeah, I know. So
Yeah.
it's like it's its own. It's
Yeah, it
just
is.
its own weird
It appeals
thing.
to like totally different people than us.
Yeah, it does have its own impact. I would
Yeah.
say it
Yeah.
is in its own realm.
It's stuff like this that makes me realize how like niche, not just Easy Allies, but like video game discussion companies like ours are.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Oh sure.
Yeah, like they don't. The NBA 2K20 people don't need us. They don't care
Yeah, they don't
about.
care.
They don't
Yeah.
listen to any of this. They don't do anything like that.
Yeah. I think I saw they took the slot machines out. Let us know in the corrections.
Yeah,
if
let
those
us
are
know.
still
Like I
That
asked,
was
I didn't look at
wild.
any of their advertising. I asked, Patreon
Did
and
you
Twitter
watch that
to look at
trailer,
the
though?
the best trailers of the year, and I got like 150 suggestions. And, like,
None was to
none of
NBA
that
2K.
was.
Yeah.
Some of that was sports stuff.
Wait,
but
tell
none
me,
of that-
I totally made you watch the gambling trailer for 2K20.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, that was
okay,
funny. Right.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And I wanted it was before,
Memorable for the wrong
It was
reasons,
right
yeah.
before I was reformatting Trailer Jones, and so I wasn't ready to bring
Yeah.
the show back, and was like, oh my god, we totally would have talked about that one.
Madden is number 3. I think it's a very similar discussion.
Sure, yeah.
Number 4 is another surprising one to me, and it shouldn't be.
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Kingdom Hearts.
It's a new game from the year of 2019
Kingdom Hearts.
in a beloved franchise.
Kingdom Hearts.
The third of a beloved
Kingdom
franchise.
Hearts.
That's been fans have been clamoring for this for
Shenmue
years and
3?
years.
Borderlands 3.
Borderlands 3.
Oh, okay, no, that's not surprising.
It shouldn't be surprising, but
It's Borderlands 3?
it is
Yeah,
Borderlands.
people
3.
love Borderlands. Right?
Nice.
Yes.
Sell it.
Wow.
The Kingdom Hearts shut down.
I know.
Yeah,
everybody-
shots.
yeah.
We're getting close. Perfect.
It was funny. It was so funny how many of them it fit. Too.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since 2, man. People
been a
were
long
waiting
time
for
since
this.
2.
A long time.
Yeah.
There's like, 2 spin-off games in between that or something?
Call of Duty,
Yeah.
NBA,
Yeah. Madden.
Madden.
And then Borderlands.
Do you see the through line?
No.
Guns and sports.
Vibes, community, friends. You're getting it? Hey, you're getting Borderlands?
of
All right, I'm
course.
going to get Borderlands. You're
You know
getting
what?
Borderlands?
You know what?
Hey,
I
you're
hear
getting
ya.
Borderlands,
Well,
dude?
it's the-
All right, I'm
it's-
going to get Borderlands. You're getting NBA? All right, I'm in.
Yeah.
It's that.
It's
hear
the
what you're
one timer.
That's true.
It's the one timer. It's you hanging out with a friend at the holidays, and you're like, hey, and just like, oh, this is my brother, and just like, hey, what's up? And it's like he's really into games. Like, cool. Like, I don't really play games. Well, I'm playing Borderlands 3 right now, but other than that, I don't really play anything.
Yeah.
What's
the
or you
impact?
get that one sports game.
Yep.
What's our impact rating for Borderlands 3?
Borderlands.
This brought it back.
Borderlands.
This brought the franchise back.
It's
I'd be like a 2 or 3 for sure.
It's like the Bible. Borderlands begets Borderlands. Like it's a huge impact on Borderlands 4, but
Yeah.
or Borderlands. Likely pre-sequel something. There'll be another smaller
Yeah, it's Gearbox
Borderlands
saying,
game.
yeah, we're going to make a lot more
Yeah,
of
I think
these.
this really cemented this as like a long buckle up
And
franchise.
wasn't pre-sequel pre-sequel was on 360,
Yes,
right?
it was.
And PS3, and wasn't that like deep into this gen?
No, it was that toward the beginning
It's
of
like
the generation.
2015, I think.
I remember that. I remember us being like, "Oh, okay, this
Yeah.
isn't coming out,"
Or
on
maybe
and I
earlier.
could totally see them pulling that off. Like we're a year into PS5 and Xbox Series X, and then just like, haha, we're
the
back,
collection.
baby,
Yeah.
and it'll still sell like hotcakes.
So I would say though, I think it won't have the impact that Borderlands 2 had. I think that Borderlands 2 was huge in the conversation. I think that it seemed unique. I think that people liked its humor. They liked its style. I think it doesn't stand out as much as it does today. I don't think Borderlands as a franchise does.
But still, going into Borderlands 3, I really thought like I didn't know how big it would be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now that it is number 4 and it had such a good reception, I think the impact is big because now it's just runaway train. Here we go. Borderlands 15.
Yeah.
I wonder, dude. I think I'm pretty sure they weren't super pleased with their numbers. I think they wanted it to do a little better than it did.
Number
Two,
four.
talking about Take-Two.
And it's a number 4 selling game? Not good enough?
In the U.S., yeah.
Oh, this is in the US. Right?
Yeah. But yeah, I still think I think they wanted to do a little better. I don't think you're right. Borderlands 4, lock it in. There's no question that's not happening, right? Plenty of DLC expansions will be supported, will come out. But I wonder about the long-term support of 3. I really, really do.
But looking back at this gen, when I think about like fun drop in, drop out 4-player co-op, what else is there?
Destiny.
Vermintide 2.
Not in the. I think Destiny cuts people off more than Borderlands does. If I jump into Borderlands, you're not going to be like, no, you're not ready for this. I'd be like, no, yeah, come on, it doesn't matter. You know, like, yeah, join my team. You're not going to slow me down. You know, so I can be like, wait, no, I'm trying to get puzzle pieces tonight. You know, it's not
Fair.
It's not that kind of thing. It's not like an MMO.
Yeah, what's your right level?
Borderlands
Fair.
does do that. There are levels for missions where like if your buddy is too low level, they can't really play
True,
with
and
you.
if you beat the
Sure,
campaign
they're not
and
gonna be-
somebody else hasn't.
They're not going to be good. But it's not like you can't get into it. You know, it's not meaning physically like the door won't open for me, that kind of a thing.
Sure.
You know, and not that that's a knock against Destiny. That's just how the game's built. But I still think, not style-wise, comedy-wise, you know, it's still going to... I think Borderlands is a game that, you know, makes its product specifically for that fan base. But I still think that's, you know... So, I mean, like, the Breakpoint really wanted that. They really wanted to be that, and it's just like you didn't...
Also, yeah.
So is this Impact 3? Are we willing to say Borderlands 3 is Impact 3?
I am shocked it's number 4 on here. I am shocked.
Yeah.
That is huge. That's a
really is,
huge
yeah.
win for Borderlands. It's number 4 selling game of the year.
On the rest of the... you mean on the rest of the industry?
That's wild.
I would think it's more of a 2.
Yeah, me too.
I think
Sure.
I agree with 2.
Because I don't
do it
think
too.
anybody's... I think it's too risky for anybody to try to follow suit.
Yeah. I would say Borderlands 2 is a 3. I think this one's a 2.
Yeah,
2.
Yeah.
Next up's a really fun one. Also a new game that premiered in 2019. Also another game in a beloved franchise.
Kingdom Hearts 3?
A game that brings back beloved characters.
Shenmue 3.
This is like Crash something.
Oh, Crash Team Racing?
No, that did not get in the top 20.
Oh,
Okay.
That's fun though. Mortal Kombat 11.
Nice.
This came out.
Yes.
No, I remember it's selling like crazy.
When did that
Sold
come
like
out?
crazy.
Yeah.
When did that come out?
Was it like May?
First third of the year, I
April?
feel like. It may have been April.
Man, I totally forgot.
Maybe April.
Ian's on the fact check.
Ian's on the fact check.
Yeah.
I can't think what there is to take.
Ooh, you were killing it today. April 23rd.
Nice.
What do you take from Mortal Kombat 11? What is there to steal? What's there to you know?
So,
You're,
Jones-
you're taking a test
Story
in class
mode.
and you look
The,
over at
Story mode.
Mortal Kombat 11's
I
like
guess
notes.
Injustice did it right. Just the towers, you know.
Yeah, and then microtransactions. It's like
And just, like,
it's-
being able to
people
play-
are already doing that. Like
I swore that, like Brad just said, after Mortal Kombat 9, every fighting game is going to have a sick story mode. No one's come close to matching what Mortal Kombat's even attempted. So I guess, you know, they're just in their own little path over there. But also, I love the crypt.
Oh, the Crypt.
I love the
The
crypt.
Crypt can be better, dude.
It could be better. So yeah, it's
The Crypt bummed me out.
I love
after a
just
little bit.
exploring this third-person crazy environment that takes place within the universe of Mortal Kombat. It's got cute little like winks and nods to Mortal Kombat
Yeah,
history.
I think that's cool.
But it was the grind sesh. It was the payoff for your
Yeah.
grinding.
Yeah.
And I think that was
A
you
goal
know,
to chase, yeah.
yeah. And I think maybe there's a right way to do it. They did fix it. They did give us more boosts afterward, and they said, "Hey, we're sorry about all this. It's way easier now."
If you can just combine, they kind of did it with like Armageddon or whatever. Combine the Crypt and Shaolin monks. Ooh. Combine the two.
Ooh.
Because then you're going in the Crypt, you're using all your currency you've earned and stuff, but you're also fighting.
Well, you got to do something. Mortal Kombat 11, I think, as much as I loved all the advertising and someone outside being like, I do not have time to play this game this year, I kept thinking, like, what is 12 going to be, man? Looks like they're throwing the kitchen sink at their community, which is fun. But
Another reboot.
what do you do for 12?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
so soon?
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. What plot do you have from 12 that can
You have to go,
surpass
wow.
this
You
insanity
gotta go
right
like
now?
No, I think-
millions of years in the
Because
future.
because this to me had everything. It had comedy, it had stakes, it had
Yeah.
new characters, it had new abilities.
So
it was just so they were just ringing every bell.
here's what I'm dancing around, Jones, is the game ends with a very clear idea of where we're going.
Ah,
And it's sort of another reset.
yeah.
Okay.
We have some time shenanigans.
Yeah, which I'm done with.
Yeah, it seems
Can we
I
not do this
know,
anymore?
dude, I know.
it seems
yeah.
a little early to do that.
Yeah. Well, it kind of like they just killed off all the characters, and so it's kind of just like, okay, reset.
Every like 3 games.
Night Wolf's alive again. Reset. You know, it's just like,
So what, 9, 10, 9, X, 11, like every 3 games, I guess?
Hey, that's not bad. You know, if you
I
look at
guess if
years.
it's just like gonna get stale. It felt dragged out. You might as well just reboot it again.
Hey, it works for Star Wars.
With a new gen,
Star Wars is
a new
connected,
style,
though, at
maybe
least.
that would be interesting. A drastic style reinvention, like not of gameplay or something, but
Like
like
visual?
the characters. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, like make it look like a 90s movie. How fun would that be? If you make Mortal Kombat
make it look
just-
like the live-action Street Fighter game.
Yes.
Oh man.
But like I don't know what that look is. I don't know what I'm imagining exactly.
This could be a super ignorant comment, but in terms of like shockwaves throughout the industry, is the fighting genre resistant to like learning from lessons from other people and then applying it to their own franchise?
Absolutely not.
No,
No?
I think so.
No.
You see fighting games that are like, oh, good idea, we'll do that.
Yeah, who was the
Oh,
first
okay.
one who did like breakers to break a
Combo
combo?
breakers?
you
I
know?
remember Killer
Yeah,
Instinct.
It might be Killer Instinct.
But that's not.
But I don't
So-
know if it was.
That's
so
not shockwave.
if you look
type
at Street
stuff.
Fighter
That's
4
specific mechanics. I'm
Street
talking
Fighter
like,
4 is an Impact 3, Jones. And so Street Fighter 4 was a 2D, 3D game. It had the EX attacks, and like everybody started doing it. Mortal Kombat even started doing
Got
EX
it.
attacks. It had these supers. Whenever you did your Ultra, I guess, in those games, the camera would move in close, and then it would move around, and then everybody's doing that. Mortal
Oh,
Kombat
it's kind
included.
of like the X-ray thing, I guess.
Yeah.
That's their version of it, maybe?
Fatal
Or
Blow.
kind of similar.
And now we
reminds
got
me of
Fatal
it.
Blows even more on top of the
Yeah.
X-rays. Yeah. And so, absolutely, Street Fighter 5 eventually had a Mortal Kombat style story mode. Far too late. It was like a free expansion, like
Yeah, I remember,
6
I
months after the
remember.
game came out. And so, Jones, my question to you is, after you've posed that to us, Street Fighter 6, what does it need to have? Does it need to have all of these things that Mortal Kombat has?
Dude, in adventure mode.
I think
Yeah.
it desperately needs like a campaign kind of thing.
If it wants to be broad,
Like Kakarot
Yeah.
style.
I think
I know
it
it
wants-
sounds
obviously not.
insane
I
to
think-
fighting
I know.
game fans.
I know.
It
I
sounds
think it will help
insane.
get a
I know.
lot of people in who aren't big fighting game
Because
fans.
Exactly,
like, dude,
yes.
the Street Fighter 5, the campaign, it wasn't the best, but like the vibes, dude. The like the little like hand-drawn frames they would do, and you would see just the places, and like I want to explore these places.
What
you
about
know?
what's the Smash Brothers top-down, point-to-point adventure thingamajab? But like, and then
World
what's
of
the?
Light?
Sorry, I'm forgetting all
World
of
of
the,
Light,
the
nice.
terminology. And then what are the things you're collecting? Are they cards or stickers or
Stickers?
stickers?
Yeah.
It'd be interesting if you're like collecting relics from the past of Street Fighter, or maybe like characters that aren't in the franchise anymore, even characters that weren't fighters. Were like if you're like amassing an army, and you kind of pick your side and just go through that adventure. That'd be kind of fun. I'd be tempted to check that out.
I definitely think it needs a new look. After 4 and 5 being kind of very similar, I think they need a rapid change in the art direction, just like from previous games to 4.
I think because Brad, they're like running out of guest characters.
Yeah.
Because it used to be really interesting to see, they're going to bring that character into Mortal Kombat. Like if they bring in Jason today, it's going to look like Jason from the last one. We won't have that impact anymore.
Yeah.
And so I hear you. I think
Sorry. I was thinking of Street Fighter. I don't think Mortal Kombat will ever change the way their games look.
Street
Like they're going to
Fighter
be more realistic.
more than ever needs a different style.
Yeah, that's what I was-
100%
Street
agree
Fighter
with
should
you.
go back to sprites, man.
I wish.
That'd be amazing.
That would be sick,
Yeah.
but I don't think. Yeah.
I would just want to have RE Engine faces more than anything.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
talking
want
to
that
Ben
Mortal
about
Kombat,
that.
yeah.
I was like, you think it's going to look like RE Engine games?
Yeah, I want them to
Wet
hire a bunch
gore.
of models to just be all the Street Fighter
Can you imagine
characters.
just like a
Just hot
Kano
models for
heart
everybody?
rip in RE Engine? Just like
We're talking Street
Yeah, we're
Fighter.
talking Street Fighter, dude.
sorry.
Imagine Ryu with a little model face screaming and throwing out Hadokens.
Yeah, imagine
Dude,
Sagat.
the
Yes.
RE Engine is made for gore. The Mortal
Yes.
Kombat has gore. I don't know about Street Fighter.
I
Okay,
think that engine's going to be in a lot more stuff.
Yeah, this discussion got crazy. What is the impact rating of Mortal Kombat 11?
2?
2 or 1.
2 or 1?
I think it's a 2 or a 1.
Can we do 1.5?
No.
Okay.
I think
would allow it.
so many decisions that were made for 11 were made for that franchise
Yeah,
specifically.
exactly.
an
It's almost like
amazing
NBA 2K. It's kind of just, hey, you're on
Yeah.
your own island. Nobody else can really replicate this or really learn from this or make any money off of that. And I do wonder if we're going to be talking about MK11 this time next year. I wonder what the longevity of that game really is.
Do you think? Because I really like that. To finish it off, I like that Mortal Kombat can appease to a wide variety.
Yeah.
You know, whether you're good or bad. I always feel like I can barely even play Street Fighter because it's so intense.
Yeah.
Do you think the next Mortal Kombat will do the same, just like going for the mass appeal? And do you see
yes.
Street Fighter ever doing that, or just like hyper focused on the fighting?
Try to appeal more.
Yeah. They need that budget.
Yeah.
They need
Yeah.
more money. Stop that. But I don't know if they'll get that money. That's the thing. I don't know if Street Fighter 6 will have that.
Was
level
there no
budget.
campaign because they just didn't have the money at the time for Street Fighter 5?
I think it was
Release.
development time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were rushing
Yeah.
it.
Because it was kind of clear when you're actually playing through it, like, oh, they planned this. They had a plan for this, and yeah, I think it was just trying to get that game out.
Got it.
Number 5 was Mortal Kombat 11. Number 6, the 6th best-selling game of 2019,
Grand Theft Auto 5.
a brand new game. It's not a sequel, but
Anthem?
this IP is not new at all. This intellectual property
Resident Evil 2.
Oh.
started in the 70s.
Spider-Man was last year.
This is a brand new game.
Started in the 70s.
Yeah.
Brand new game.
I don't know, man.
I feel so.
Pong.
I've literally my mind has been blank this entire
Star
game.
Wars Jedi.
Oh,
Fallen
nice.
Order.
Okay.
Got this
All right.
number 6.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it reviewed well, and people
Yeah.
just generally word of mouth was great, but
Well,
I didn't
yeah,
know it was
'cause
going to
they've been
sell that well. That's
Dicking
fantastic.
people around with microtransactions
Yes.
for a long time.
Yes.
In multiplayer, and they're like, here's a single player game with no microtransactions.
And we're breaking Huber's trend of like, are you getting this? Let's get this. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
here we
It's
go.
Actually, that's
Yeah.
our first like single player only game.
Single player.
Yeah.
Yes.
took
I
the power
wonder.
of Star
I wonder
Wars.
how much of that was launch versus just a week after, and I wonder if it just had legs.
Yeah.
You know, because people kept talking about it. You know.
Mass appeal game.
I mean, not
I
a lot
feel
of
like people
time.
waited. I saw a lot of like, okay, I finished that game. Now it's time for Fallen Order.
Well, this was halfway through November or later. Like it didn't
Yeah.
have time to have legs yet, really.
Felt like a holiday game. A lot of
Yeah.
people like got into their break and were like,
Good job, Respawn. Like right before the movie comes out too. Perfect timing.
And I think
Perfect timing.
this
later
game
would
might
have been.
be emulated. I think might be maybe like
I mean, it's
By them?
It's
Again?
emulating.
Yeah, it's emulating a lot of other games.
yes.
Yeah.
So it's like a soft Souls game, right? It's a soft Metroidvania
platforming,
game.
yeah.
Friendly Souls.
Yeah.
Friendly Souls, yeah.
But it's a licensed IP, and so it's a fun thing to do with a licensed IP. It's like, why don't we make a good game with this?
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
so I wonder if more people will try to do this kind of thing going forward.
Hopefully.
I mean, maybe it's kind of Batman style as well. Batman was, why don't we make a good game?
Do you like Lord of the Rings this way?
Lord of the Rings as
Lord of the Rings
Dude,
Fallen
Mortal
Order
Kombat.
style?
Metroidvania? Yes.
Mortal Kombat?
yeah, man.
Like a Shaolin monks like that?
Yes. So you don't like. That's what I think. I don't think you need open world. This kind of thing says you don't need open world.
Yeah, you're on a boat going like sailing to all these different places, and when
Yeah.
you get off the boat, you can pick like, I'm all right. I'm going to take Liu Kang on this mission. and go.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and so maybe
I'm so in.
maybe it's not you learn new moves, but you acquire new teammates.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so Sub-Zero can freeze a bridge that allows you to get in that new area or something like that. Okay, Jonesy. Yeah. Great. Yeah. So
Like 3 Vikings or whatever. What is that game called? The old Square game?
old
Lost-
Square-
the Lost Vikings.
That's Blizzard
Lost
games.
Vikings.
That's
Yeah,
Blizzard,
Blizzard
yeah.
game. Yeah.
Is that the same thing?
You like switch guys to do different
But you
abilities.
switch them
Oh,
on the
for
fly.
sure.
You bring
Yeah.
them all into that level.
Or like Wild Arms.
What is the impact that this game will have? I am curious.
I
about
think
that.
this is gonna have a big impact on
Damn, I think
how
it will
EA
too.
looks at games and
Definitely.
how they
Oh,
look at
sure.
Respawn.
Even within EA, for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, maybe we'll invest more into this kind of thing if people really are into it.
It's Respawn's best-selling game ever. That was noted.
Wow.
Yep.
Deserving after
Yeah.
Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
Very, very deserving.
sure.
And I think this also was a game that like kind of defied all odds. It was like quality against all odds, because this game, like the title for it was announced like Vince was sitting down when he announced the title.
Yeah.
You know, just like
Weird.
So much of the, you know what I mean? Like,
so weird.
so much of the energy building up to it was just so.
It was weird.
muted.
Yeah.
The first time we saw it, they were just had like sticks and were clacking them together. It was just like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
And then we made it. We finally got there because it was so good. Because
Yeah.
it told such an interesting story.
you
Had
think
such,
that
had such a vanilla protagonist. Like, oh, you know. But
Jones.
no, it was good. And so we got word of mouth because it was good.
Yeah.
And so I wonder if like a lot of big IPs, comic books, sci-fi. I wonder if they're all like, okay, who do we want to trust with this? Like what dev can we throw this at and give them enough money and enough time?
Jones, do you think their plan all along was to downplay it? To just be really
their
muted?
plan.
I think.
Do you think it was a
yes.
long, like, hey, let's really
Because it was what they did with
undersell it
everything
all the way?
else. They just gave it a little bit more time. I think the time was their plan.
Got it.
That they were like, wait, we can't rush this. We can't Battlefront 2 this.
I think that's. But I think We Can't Battlefront 2 this is why they were keeping
Yeah.
everything under wraps for so long.
But you know who's cocky right now, way cockier than they think they should be, is WB Montreal. They're like, just you wait.
Oh, even more. Yeah, just like no. We have 6 more
I mean,
months
that
of
game
teasers
could be
for that
incredible,
game.
whatever
Yeah.
whatever the hell it is. But I
Here's a
they're
little
like,
logo
nah,
for you
dude, we
all
can
this."
take 2 more years. Don't worry. Stop it.
Can I get a rating though? Can I get a rating on that for the impact? I'm actually curious what you all
3?
think.
Definitely a 2 or a 3 for
Wow.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
I'd probably
more
say 2, I guess.
definitely opening the floodgates for
Yeah.
quality Star Wars games. Here we come.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think Brad touched on something. I think Respawn's going to be the big boys of EA now.
Well, they kind of are. They just deliver kind of hit after hit for them.
Well, and BioWare's shrinking, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so BioWare used to be big boys of EA, and I just kind of
Yeah.
see Respawn just like, hey.
It's neat that with both Spider-Man and this, that like when you look back on the last couple years and you think of like, man, Endgame and all wrapping up the MCU and like, you know, Star Wars and wrapping up that trilogy and even like, you know, Into the Spider-Verse, just these huge achievements. It's like, it's up there. The video games are up there. Not because of like, my kid just can't stop playing this, but like, no, you know, like, you know, people like Wall Street Journal and, you know, like the other, you know, publications are like, this was huge, man. The sequel to this is gonna be big.
I was talking to
are gonna be
people
really excited
who
for
like
it.
don't really play video games. They're playing this.
Well.
and, like really loving it.
Yeah. It's a sweet game. Yeah. You know what?
Star Wars.
It deserves that.
Good point.
Number 7 best-selling game of 2019 came out pretty late in 2018, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Oh yeah.
And I think this is another game that just can't be replicated. To me, it is its
One
own
of a
genre.
kind.
Yeah.
And
One
I
of
don't
a
think it'll
kind.
be this big for a long time. Like amount
Yeah.
of characters and stuff.
Yeah. It's
They're gonna
just,
scale it back next one for sure.
if I'm in a meeting, it's just like, what can we learn from Smash Bros. Ultimate? And it's like, stop it.
Guest
Well,
characters.
Don't
Yes.
make a sequel to Battle Royale or what is it? What's
PlayStation All Stars
that?
Battle Royale.
Yeah. Boy, that was called Battle Royale, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
You'd just never do that again. I wonder if someone just in the back, like jokingly brings it up at PlayStation meetings. Hey, let's do Battle Royale. Shut up, Steve. It's like, no, seriously.
Well, just
Let's
don't
do it
like
again.
a weird.
We learned our
mechanic
lesson.
to
We can
kill
make it
people
better.
on it.
Yeah. It feels like they had their chance.
They literally could have copied Smash.
Yeah.
100% would have been better.
Yeah.
Or like people would have been more interested in it.
But I agree, it's too late now.
Yeah,
The other
it is.
game has cloud. You just can't. You
Can't do it right now.
Yeah.
You're done. I feel bad.
What if All Stars Battle Royale came back and they had Cloud also?
Sick.
Okay.
And they were just like flaunting it.
Hell yeah,
We've
dude.
got the
Remake Cloud. Yeah. Like looks the same.
It looks the exact same. Number 8.
GTA 5.
Always a safe bet.
The third game in a beloved franchise.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts 3!
Yeah,
We got there! We got there.
Yay!
Kingdom Hearts 3 is still in the top 10, at least, for the year of 2019.
That seems
The only
extremely-
JRPG?
That
Yeah.
seems extremely important because the budget on this game just
The time.
I wish I knew the budget.
Oh, I can't
Probably a
fathom
lot.
it.
I can't. I know.
Can't fathom the
I
budget
know.
of this, yes.
Every time I stare at this game, I'm just like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably helped being on Unreal.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Brad, I think that is an impact of its own. I do wonder if this game flies out. I mean, the DLC just came out yesterday.
Yeah.
I wonder if this breathes new life into Kingdom Hearts 3. I wonder if the franchise still has the clout it does 6 months from now. Is Kingdom Hearts still...
I mean, it won't be as like people won't think of it as much just because it'll be older. Mm-hmm. But like this train ain't stopping.
yeah.
This train ain't stopping, dude.
So, Brad,
I
one
think they just
article...
announced more teams for it.
They did, right.
Yeah.
So they're working on already the next Kingdom Hearts game. And we're not even talking about Project Xehanort.
No.
There's 2 games besides that. One of
Yes.
them we'll hear about sooner than we expect.
Business as usual.
Yeah.
Like 30 spin-off games and then
Dude.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's 4 teams now or something
Whoa.
crazy like that.
Okay.
Including the one working on the mobile one.
Yeah, altogether. I think there is.
Cool.
But it makes them money.
Yeah.
They're going to keep doing it.
Yeah, and I mean,
And if Disney seems kind of happy with it, like they're going to keep going.
the way this game plays and the way the worlds feel is so good.
Yeah.
All my problems with Kingdom Hearts 3 is everything besides that. So if you're just dropping more things in, taking me out into different worlds, just having me slash around in other places, heck yeah, I'll do that
Visiting
for 10
like
more years.
worlds you're
Really
familiar
tough to
with. Yeah.
predict, though,
Yeah.
right? Because like I wonder if it always fascinated me that like the Nolan movies and the X-Men franchise, like it's like they had a list of the most popular characters in the franchise, and then
Yeah.
like that told the story. You know, it was
Yes.
like it's like or no one's like, all right, I'm up, and it's like, okay, you get Ra's al Ghul and Scarecrow, and he's like, oh, okay.
Nah, he picked
I can
those
make that
two.
work.
Yeah,
I can make that
he
work.
picked them.
But if you
He
look
did.
at all the villains that they had done, like I'm telling you, they were the next. It was just like right above Clayface and other stuff, you know, and then he could go back to Joker and go back to these other bring Catwoman back in.
Yeah.
And the same thing with X-Men. It was just like, oh, we'll do a prequel. And it's like, well, I'm not going to pick these characters because it makes sense for a prequel. They're literally the next most popular characters on the list. And so I wonder if like that's Kingdom Hearts. It's like it doesn't, you know, it's not because Hercules makes sense in the story. It's just because like, we got to go back to him. I don't know. It's like,
Hercules
because
is
when you
not-
said other teams, it's like, oh, I wonder if we would get like just a Pixar Kingdom Hearts. You know, I wonder if we would get a Kingdom
That's
Hearts
Kingdom
now.
Hearts 3,
Yeah,
man.
Kingdom Hearts 3
Because
has
we're
all that.
not right, but like Bugs Life isn't in it, Incredibles isn't in it, Wally's not in it. You know, like there's a ton of Pixar properties that are not in that.
True.
I wonder if you'll get, you know, one that's. But then, right as I had that thought, it's like, no, it's just going to be this
Like,
crazy grab bag.
Jones, like, there's always Marvel up for grabs, and Star Wars is always up for grabs still.
yeah,
Man,
I would
Brad,
love
remember that like
Star Wars
that
Kingdom
deleted
Hearts.
weapon that was like a Muppet Keyblade or something?
Yes, dude, I do remember
I
that.
can't remember what the Muppet thing was, but Kingdom Hearts 2 had some sort of Muppets reference, Jones. Like, how cool would Sora be like hanging out with Muppets?
that would oof.
Like teaming up with just having Kermit like
A Star Wars Kingdom
smack
Hearts
people
and a
with a
Muppet
banjo.
Kingdom Hearts would be hard for me not to play.
Yes.
That would be difficult.
Yeah. Could happen.
Literally, Fozzie on your team would be
Waka
hard.
waka.
That would
Yeah,
be
like
hard.
killing.
That'd be difficult.
Like, hell yeah, Fozzie.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
like
want-
enemies slipping on banana peels. I'd be like, just
wanna-
a final bite.
I want them to do more like fragmentary passage stuff.
Oh,
In
like
between-
little.
So in between, you know, Kingdom Hearts 4 or whatever the heck the next big one is going to be, like have one or two of these smaller ones where you can experiment. Because like I love how all the Kingdom Hearts mechanically are so different. Can like, you know, so
Oh,
you
that
could
was the
do
thing where you
different
played as
mechanics.
Aqua.
I'm
You
pretty
played
sure.
Fragmentary passages.
Just like
that
a
Aqua-
they standalone, like
they did
downloadable
Birth by
one.
Sleep.
Yeah.
They did Chain of Memories, which is
sure.
weird as hell. They did Dream Drop Distance, which is weird. Like they always do weird stuff
Is-
like that.
That's not a bad
Is
call,
the
Huber.
Kingdom
that.
Hearts 3 Seeds of Genova DLC out?
What are you reading?
I googled Muppets in Kingdom Hearts.
Spoilers.
No, this sounds made up.
I mean, I don't know. It's on fandom.com.
Spoilers.
Is that just a huge
Well,
spoiler?
if
Huge
I don't know,
spoilers.
is
It's
it?
massive.
What? That was a. Oh boy.
Seeds of Genova. That would be.
I don't know if any of this is
ridiculous.
real or not, but should I not say what
don't
I
know.
described?
It
I
sounds
haven't-
like we're gonna have. Hubert is implying we're gonna have to bleep that out.
I haven't finished.
What do
the
you know? Have
DLC
you
yet.
played through the DLC or are you reading headlines?
I feel like I've been getting hit with headlines.
Are you going
So
on IGN?
with-
Did IGN
with-
tell you something?
with the headline and Twitter and this now connecting
some
the dots.
Twitter stuff?
Yeah, there's
Could
getting a
be,
little.
because
I
remakes
thought it was
coming
already out based
Yeah.
on
Could
how
be
much.
a little something. I don't know.
Make that connection,
Like
baby.
Sephiroth and
Nice.
Cloud have been in the games.
Okay, all right.
Huh?
Well,
Anyway,
never mind.
But I wouldn't be surprised. I like what you're thinking, Huber, because I think they could release a game, a smaller Kingdom Hearts game that people maybe like think is bigger, or they're just like, oh yeah, more Kingdom Hearts, and it's a standalone thing. And then like 8 hours later, you're like, they duped me. It's like, yeah, but I got your money. And do you hate Kingdom Hearts now?
no.
You know what I mean? Like, are you? Yeah.
Wait, duped you how?
You thought it was a longer game. I thought this was going to be Kingdom Hearts 3 length, and it was. It wasn't. It was, you know. Whereas like you see Aqua as a protagonist, and you think, oh, this is just going to be a smaller thing.
Yeah.
Whereas if now that 3 is done and they introduce a new protagonist, it's not going to feel
Got
weird.
it.
You know, or they say, oh yeah, no, you're going to play as this other side character or something, or
Nominate.
give her her own game.
Huey, you said an interesting thing about Borderlands 3 is like you said, like this cements it. This is the franchise is back and it's going to keep going.
Yeah.
Does Kingdom Hearts 3 give you that encouragement, especially talking about everything we just have?
It's a little different scenario. It's a little
Okay.
different situation. Like, in a way, it feels like the end and a new beginning. You know what I mean? Like
It feels like a lot of a new beginning
Yeah.
to me.
So
Yeah.
this is like
Infinity War Part 2.
exactly. Yeah. So this is the end of it all. But
Yeah.
like the future seems.
There's stuff already in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just seems like unlimited potential, but at the same time, knowing about how long these games take to make.
Yeah.
You know, Final Fantasy Versus and just the history of how long this franchise takes.
You're still feeling that.
I'm still
I get that.
the future seems cloudy a little bit.
Right, I loved playing 3 with you, and like a cutscene started, and I was like, "Oh, this is an interesting plot thread," and you were like, "No, Jones, no."
Well,
I'm
it's
like,
'cause,
"Wait,
like,
what?" And you're like, "This doesn't."
You're not going to really get a lot of it.
yeah.
That game is definitely for if you've been a fan of the other games, but if you hop in, you're like, what? Like, I've beaten all of them, and I'm still like, what? At some spots. Like, I forget things.
Number 9, best-selling game of 2019.
GTA 5.
GTA 5.
The Division 2.
Oh.
Yeah.
Better rework those games, though.
Dude, the Division 2 was magic at launch.
Yeah.
At launch.
Magic?
It was
Magic?
It was, dude. It was one of the most games. It was like number 1 I played last year. I reviewed it, so obviously that's a huge factor.
Yeah, tell me about the magic.
The magic of queuing up to the dark zone with Quentin Cobb, fighting for our lives, chasing people down,
Yes.
like getting their loot, defending our loot, gearing up for like the new tier that was coming out right after launch, and like the
Gifting
Black
gear.
Tusk invasion. Like
That was magic.
it was awesome.
The fact
at
that an
launch.
ally just gave me some gear. I was like, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Then-
now I'm ready for the thing. Cool. Like
Yeah.
that, you just saved me so much time.
And then even after like, launch happens, and then like, a couple weeks in, there's just like so much possibility. People were discovering secret quests in the world, like these secret mercenaries. So one guy like you're just like exploring a random building. This guy like hits the lights and like ambushes you. This like named NPC dropping special loot, and then
Yeah.
just kind of
This game, fell off a cliff, I would
fell
say.
off a cliff.
But it feels like MMOs. It's like you could make a really good MMO right now, but how much money are you really gonna make?
Yeah.
You know, like you're gonna make your fan base super happy, but how much are people really gonna be talking about you? I mean, number 9.
Yeah.
Again, for this horrible year Ubisoft had.
No,
it's so
they
weird.
wanted way better than number 9.
Yeah.
They wanted better than number 9 for that game.
So it's weird. It was revolutionary and a failure at the same time. It's fascinating. Because I couldn't help but while I was playing it being like, wow, they got so much of this right. And it felt like something that so many other companies are like, how do we do it? What risks do we take? I mean, Anthem didn't do it. Like, it's a textbook, like yes and no, good and bad, dark and light.
Yeah.
Like this is the way to do it and the way not to. But who's going to learn that lesson for what project? Who's really going to play Division 2 and then be like, great, we'll apply all these lessons to our game and we'll be on Easy Street.
Honestly, I thought we would have hit Anthem by now. Honestly, I thought Anthem would have been in this top 10.
With Division there, though, it made me think of something with Ubisoft and about just kind of how you were saying they were pumping the brakes, failure. It makes me think because Watch Dogs 2 sold less than Watch Dogs 1. Division 2 sold less than Division 1?
Presumably.
Presumably?
Yes. Yeah.
So I wonder if they see that information right
sequel
there,
doing worse.
Yeah.
and they're like, dude,
Yeah.
Maybe a lot of people felt burned by the other ones. So
other
like Watch Dogs 1 and
Oh,
Division
yeah.
1.
Yeah.
So they're like, eh.
Yeah.
Division 2. Don't
I
skip
wonder-
it.
I wonder
Or
if
Watch
it's a-
Dogs 2. Watch Dogs 2. Don't skip it.
I wonder if that's a cumulative effect of having an editorial congress or conclave or whatever Ubisoft has, where it's like, if you have a singular voice through all of your games, each misstep reflects on all of them because they're the same voice. So
Yeah.
you'll have
Yeah.
that decline over time.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think they're kind of self-acknowledging
That's
that as
what they're
well.
acknowledging, yeah.
I think 100% that, Ian, yeah.
So it's like every mistake that Assassin's Creed made, that Watch Dogs made, is a mistake that Division 2 had to deal with too.
Yeah.
It's kind of nuts for a company to have that strong of a voice.
I think Schreier killed Anthem. I think he killed it dead. I think he put that nail in the coffin.
No.
Not
Anthem
killed it
killed
like
Anthem.
did you stop playing. They're not going to release anything or make any significant changes. But like, I think that because his reporting didn't go after Anthem, it went after BioWare. Like
Yeah.
that talked about deep seated problems at that company, and that's a whole different level of not distrust, but like nervousness about like how much time should I invest in this game?
I mean,
that probably hurts not a lot of people, but important people, right? People that were like streamers willing
I hear
to
what you're saying.
commit to the game,
Okay.
willing to commit. Oh, maybe it'll turn around and get better. Then that comes
Right.
out, and they're like, ooh, maybe I should just focus on some other game.
I get what you're saying. I get that. Because I think, Huber, to me, when you're like, hey, do you see the common thread of these first 4 games? And I totally didn't. And you said, hey, do you want to play this? Do you want to play this? That was such a light that you shined. Anthem simply never had that.
Yeah, and I don't feel bad for it. I think
Yeah.
I think BioWare needs to make some changes, you
Yeah.
know, and that that reporting needed to happen. But devastating. It was interesting seeing somebody like Andrea Renee, who had spent way more time in Division when that came out, and I love Division.
Yeah.
I knew I probably wasn't gonna stay with it for as long, and I saw her tweeting the other day. She was just like dusting off Division. Here we go. Like it's been a while.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But still loved it. Still has good things to say about it. But
Yeah, it's
just
weird.
Like,
If I give
a lot of time investment.
that game an impact rating, Division 2, it would almost be high because of the negative effect it's having over Ubisoft.
Sure, yeah.
And I think fewer people are going to be chasing that.
Yeah, more what not to do than what to do.
Right? It feels weird.
Because they
Still a 2 though. I think.
Sure.
immediately addressed the problem with Division 1, which was have stuff after launch come, and they did, and then they didn't. It's just like never enough. So there's that balance of like, how much do we add? When do we add it? Do we go the Iceborne route and just do one big one and a couple content drops in between?
Yeah.
I think Division 2 works really well to make your community happy, to make the content interesting, to make it balanced in a fun way, to make it make sense that new stuff is coming without feeling like you're recycling things. They did recycle things, but it made sense within the lore of the world. But if it doesn't sell, if it doesn't, if it's not really blowing people's minds and breaking records, top 10.
Doesn't work. Yeah. Top 10. Not enough. Well, here's the
Maybe
thing.
not top 10, I guess.
Here's number 10. I think if I tell you it's a Switch game, you still won't guess what number 10 is.
Mario Kart.
GTA 5.
It is Mario Kart. Nice.
I never bet against Mario Kart.
I guess not, man.
I
Mario
never
Kart
gave it GTA
8.
5.
But it's why still I don't think we're gonna get a new Mario Kart in the Switch.
Yeah, I don't think it's happening.
What's the point?
Why?
What?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah, Jones
What's
is
the
right. Like,
point?
as much as it upsets me, what's the point?
What is the point? Yeah. Save it for the next console.
The point is, I kind of already played this one.
It doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, for what we want, it's irrelevant.
Yeah, for us. Yeah,
This is a brand new Mario Kart game to millions of people every year somehow. Yeah.
I don't know if you can have overlap on your product, and like if this one starts selling fewer, but you've already got the new one out, then you never see a dip, right? Whereas if you let the old one dip, you see a dip, and then you have to put money into making the new one and put the new one out.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's almost at that GTA 5 level though, where like they didn't
Yeah,
they
it just
didn't need
never
the sequel.
stops.
Yeah.
No, Ian, not the dip.
Oh my god!
So this segment turned. I mean, I had a really
need
good
the
time.
dip.
That was a really fun segment. By the way, Mario
was.
Kart 8 is a 3. People talk about it for generation. For like 7 years at this point.
Timeless classic.
We're not going to hit the rest of the top 20. It was fun to do the top 10.
Can you lightning round him?
Yeah, we're going to lightning round 'em.
Sweet.
So number 11, finally GTA 5.
There it is.
Yeah, it must have been
Those
so
two are
bummed not
always
to crack the top
together.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those two are like always running together.
That game's old, dude. That game's from 2013 or something.
And here's the thing that I did not think it would
I reviewed
be.
that at Game Trailers.
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, right behind GTA 5?
PC.
Yes.
PC.
But still, I think Red Dead should have beaten GTA 5.
I just don't think the online is.
I didn't think it
handoff
would.
didn't happen.
I didn't think it would. I said as much, I think.
I think you did. Yeah, I think GTA 5 continues to sell. I think because you
It's
talk
just
about
cowboys.
online.
Cowboys versus Lamborghinis. It's
just cowboys.
Horses versus Lamborghinis is never going to win. Cloppity clop versus vroom vroom. There's no contest.
Cloppity clop.
Vroom, vroom.
Yeah, there's no jets. There's no jet skis.
Cloppity clop versus vroom, vroom. Number 13 is another perennial. It is Minecraft.
Yeah.
14 is FIFA 20. Again, this is the U.S. If you're confused why FIFA could possibly be 14, it's just not the right audience for it. Well, hey, that's still pretty good.
Still good.
Number 15, Anthem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There it is. Okay.
Yep. Number 16, Pokemon Sword. Also worth mentioning. Oh, even for Mario Kart 8, digital sales not included. So Mario Kart 8 potentially sold even more than what was
Pokemon
reported.
was probably so many digital.
Yeah.
Number 17, Resident Evil.
Nice, dude.
2.
17.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
It is, honestly, that's good.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, the impact's already happened too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like we're past the announcement of the next thing.
And
so.
Capcom's not going to stop. That's
Did
what I
it-
really like. Yeah, they're not going to stop this.
Do we know if it sold more than 7? Because 7 obviously sold a
Ian
lot
gave us
less.
that number recently, actually.
I think I looked it up.
6.
I'll look it up again.
I think it got close, but didn't surpass 7.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, not going to stop. Meaning what's the next thing after 3?
It's
Code
Dino
Veronica?
Crisis. It's Dino Crisis.
Oh,
Dino
Dino.
Crisis.
There we go.
Yes.
Well, maybe they
It
can
is
do
Dino
Dino
Crisis.
Crisis. They can do Code
Boy, that'll be a
Veronica. Like,
test.
they got a lot of stuff they can
Dino
do still.
Crisis.
That'll
Yeah.
be a test.
They're
Or
gonna
Resident
keep
Evil
going.
8.
Or Resident. Yeah, I'm sure
Or
Resident Evil 8 is
Resident Evil 8.
still
Let's push it
coming.
forward. Let's
Yeah,
go.
Not
Yeah.
even remakes. Yeah.
Let's push Luigi's Mansion 3 is number
Ooh,
18.
Nice.
Yes.
Good for Luigi.
Luigi's
Good for
showing
Luigi.
up. All right.
Pretty stoked about that, honestly.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
Yeah. It's going to be hard to say it's going to have an impact.
No.
I wonder if at the end of the Switch, I do think once the Switch is dead, we're like, man, all the good games on that console, Luigi Mansion 3 might be fondly looked back on.
I think it will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might be among the conversation.
It's a crowd pleaser.
Yeah. It's not Mario Odyssey.
No.
Right? And so it's hard to like measure up to that kind of scale. It's not Breath of the Wild.
It's a much different type of game.
Yeah.
You're sucking up ghosts for God's sake.
Glad it exists so much. Such a
Sorry?
cool thing for Nintendo to do. Luigi's Mansion, just
It
what
is
a
a cool thing to do,
franchise,
yes.
you know?
Yeah.
Weird launch game.
So cool.
Yeah, weird launch game I never thought would return, and then return on 3DS.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
That
cool.
on Switch.
Yeah, that's fun.
A real cursory look says Resident Evil 7 top 6 million, Resident Evil 2 around 4.5 or 5 million.
Got
so
it.
it's they're neck and neck.
Yeah, they're very,
almost,
very
yeah.
close, which is cool.
Yeah.
Number 19, Days Gone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Showing up.
Cracked the top 20.
Booze, man.
But
Coming
I
in.
remember that kept rolling and rolling and rolling. I kept hearing about that
Yeah.
weeks
So
later and was like,
what's fun about
Cool.
this list is normally when we're doing NPDs and we're like, hey, it made the top 10, it's like, no, it actually didn't sell that well. This top 20, all these games are bangers.
Yeah.
You know, all of them slap very well. And so I think that,
Still doing it.
you know what I just realized is no one gets that reference yet. That's a future reference.
Yeah.
you got to dig.
You'll get it in next week. Days Gone is a success. It's a big success.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's,
Definitely.
it's not a God of War-esque
They
success
spent a
or
lot of
Spider-Man
time on this
success, but
game,
yeah.
so good
Yeah.
for them.
Really, really cool.
Just shoot for 30 hours in the sequel. Days Gone 2, 30 hours. That's your goal. 30. You're done.
Because Days Gone was too long.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jones
Oh,
keeps
okay.
saying that game's that
It's
poor
long.
game.
It's
Yeah.
a long game.
I appreciate the way they handled post-launch stuff too. They
Sure,
didn't really
yeah.
do big expansions. They did like difficulties and trials.
That crazy taxi with the golf cart going
Yeah,
nuts. Yeah,
yeah.
that's fun.
So
Really, really fun post stuff.
Yeah.
And then finally, new Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe.
Oh, man.
I don't want to hear about that game again. Impact level 0. Yeah, I think it was pretty cool to see that. Good mix of games, honestly. Like we
Yeah.
started off with
Some feel-good hits
some
in there.
sports games, but yeah, really cool. That list gave me a better impression of 2019 than I think I had previously.
Sure, yeah.
Like those games finding success is a really nice thing to see.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Lots of stories in 2019.
I just wonder how.
No clear champs. you
Yeah.
know?
Sure. I wonder how. Like I want to know budgets and I want to know digital sales. Damn it, you know.
Yes. Like movies. Like movies,
Yeah,
you know a
they're
stinker when you
always-
see
yeah.
one. Yeah. Oh, I do.
Well, it's funny that it's part of the culture to like know the movie budgets. Like
Yeah.
Box Office Mojo will tell you. And I was trying to find game budgets for some of these. You just can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 3,
Much more secretive.
somewhere between 50 and 150 million dollars. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
149.
It's like how different is that list if you throw in digital sales? You know,
Yeah.
how many games get knocked off?
Nintendo's
and,
way higher probably on everything.
I mean, all of them are way higher.
like digital only games.
Yeah.
I want to do super duper lightning round
Okay.
for the decade.
But wait. Those other games include digital. It's just Nintendo that doesn't.
It's not just
Right?
Nintendo. It's Nintendo and Sega and one other publisher. But
most of
that
them-
top 20, yeah, that was just
Yeah.
Nintendo of the
Yeah.
Got
okay.
it.
I think
Got
it might
it.
be Bandai Namco might be the other one.
Got it.
Okay, so of the decade, NPDs, here we go.
GTA 5.
GTA 5, number 1, best-selling
man.
game of the decade.
Forever selling.
Number 2, Call of Duty Black Ops.
One of the decades.
Yeah,
Great.
You're just giving me more fuel.
yeah, Jones, bring it.
Bring it.
I always tell you, I will
Jones, one of
give
my
you
favorite
my
games of
vote.
all time.
I will vote for GTA 5.
Jones, if you eliminate nostalgia, GTA 5 is easily the best GTA 5.
Yeah.
Easily.
Easily the best GTA 5.
To the best
Easily.
of the GTA 5 series.
See what I did there?
Number 3,
No, it's the best GTA.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Number 4, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. Number 5, Black Ops 3. Number 6, Call of Duty Ghosts.
Oh my God.
Number 7, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Nice.
So Rockstar and Call of Duty.
Yes.
the biggest of boys.
Uh,
Biggest.
So it means Red Dead did really well last year. Is what that really
It's funny that
impressed
you
me,
said
yeah.
Rockstar and Call of Duty. Like those are two. Call of Duty's its own developer.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is Activision
well
is
be.
just Call of Duty. Yeah. Number 8, Call of Duty World War II. Number 9, Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Number 10, Minecraft.
Okay.
Number 11, Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Number 12, Call of Duty Modern Warfare from this year. Number 13, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim.
Wow.
Yes. Number 14,
That game's been on everything, too.
yeah. Number 14, Never Bet Against Mario
Mario
Kart.
Kart,
8.
yeah.
Number 15,
Wait, before you keep going, are
Yes.
digital sales for this not included?
for Mario,
For
not
Mario.
included. No.
Okay.
Yep.
Never. Nintendo doesn't
Got it.
put them out.
Ever. Got it.
Number 15, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. The black sheep. You know? Number 16, Battlefield 1. Number 17, Battlefield 4. Number 18, Destiny. Number 19, Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And number 20, Star Wars Battlefront from 2015.
Wow.
Cool.
Those are the
of
best-selling
the
games of the
Wild.
decade in the U.S.
That's a crazy
$5.
like
Go
puts-
shooters.
Yeah,
Duty.
that
Call of Duty.
contextualizes so much because like Skyrim, like Brad said, has been released over and over on everything.
Yeah.
It's so ubiquitous, and it's still what 14 behind all those Call of Duty.
By all those Call of Duties.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Elder Scrolls 6. They're like, we're taking our time. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. We're not.
Well, they better take their
see you in
time
4
nowadays.
Like, there's no rush.
And so
Why
is,
on earth would we rush at all?
so is Rockstar. Rockstar's like, yeah, whatever. Well, GTA 6, we're not worried
Yeah.
about it. We'll do it when you
6
need
years.
to.
Yeah, yeah.
We're
Still
Meanwhile,
making
Activision's like, Call of Duty, Call of Duty, Call of Duty. And they just get away with it. In fact, I'm very impressed by the way they are able to sustain that franchise. We can be
Yeah.
cynical about it.
That's
you know,
what-
just like,
100%.
That's what I was thinking when we were talking about Ubisoft. Of
Yeah.
just like that, if you look at the decade of like Assassin's Creed,
Yeah.
some ups and downs, some inconsistencies, but overall,
Yeah.
so much quality.
Yeah.
If Grand Theft Auto 6 does not have a single player story, I will not be surprised.
Wow.
You know?
What a statement. I get it, though.
Think about it.
Yes.
If it was an online story. Or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
co-op
yeah,
They
yeah.
do that
online
now. They
story.
do online stories.
What if
Yeah.
it's that?
Right, but they launch with more diversity among that.
Yeah.
You know, that like you create a character and it'll have its own faction or something. You know,
That actually
it's not just
be-
pick a guy and rob stuff. It's like, well, who do you want to be aligned with, and then
Yeah.
they have their own campaign stuff.
I'll tell you, Jones, I think the
Kind of like
Housers,
Horde Alliance kind of a thing.
I think they're too proud of their own writing to do that.
I agree.
I think the Housers.
Hauser can't help
yeah,
himself?
yeah.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
they just want
Storytellers. Sure.
Yes, we are storytellers.
We
yeah,
are
there's just-
HBO.
Yeah.
Just want a new setting, dude. Just a brand new
Vice
setting.
City, it's time.
Do
Oh,
that'd be
not,
great.
No, do not do Vice City. Do something brand new.
new.
I don't want to keep retreading stuff.
But even London, which they've done before, like
I know, but like, something.
I mean,
they
like,
ever done
like Hong Kong
Chicago?
would be a
Yes, like Shanghai or something like.
Sleeping dogs.
never done Chicago. I wonder if sci-fi GTA would be fun.
It wouldn't sell as well.
So let's just say like Back to the Future-esque. You know, there's hoverboards, and it's still a world we can recognize.
Oh, sure, like near future.
Yeah.
That I could see.
I would love
Dude, like a
a
cyberpunk
Cyberpunk
parody.
GTA.
I would dude, come on, next gen, dream bigger. Let's go through the decades, man. Let's have like Prohibition era GTA for 20 hours. Then you go 20 years later, and you're in like the 50s, 60s. Like,
Nice.
Boom.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if GTA 6 is the entire country, not
Yeah.
just one city.
Over the decades too.
I would be surprised if it was that big. I feel like they did that with San Andreas, try to go huge, and it just
Yeah,
too big.
new consoles though.
It's time for this week in Joker news.
Oh, I can wait.
Now we can wait.
Oh, I'm. Take your time. Let it cook.
This is
Let it
still a thing.
Yeah, this one's honestly is just super sad. The Joker finally went to one of his daughter's softball games, but he pretended to be sleeping the whole time. He just closed his eyes and like pretended to be sleeping.
Wait, they let him back in?
Yeah, so he went to the
Wow.
game, and just like sat there, and she seemed happy at first, but then he just pretended to be.
Was he wearing sunglasses though to hide it?
No, like because he wanted everybody to see his eyes being closed.
I mean, I heard
I don't
about
think he was
this
even
too.
actually asleep. I think he just wanted to hurt her.
Yeah, well, I heard about this too. She wasn't doing well. You know,
Yeah,
she wasn't doing well.
it's not right.
Sending a message, you know.
She wear makeup too. Like
It's time for love and respect.
Family business.
Love and respect.
Okay. Ooh, boy. How do I get this podcast back on track? How do I get us back on track? You know what? I'm going to start with a little cute one. I thought this was funny. Hello, allies. Just wanted to share something I thought was funny. The first time I watched the podcast on a TV with my girlfriend, she said, having finally seen your faces, is the one that looks like Superman their leader?
Jones?
Have a great week and keep being the coolest nerds around. Love and respect, Jan.
Kind of.
He meant Bloodworth, right? They
Yeah.
meant Bloodworth?
Yeah, is he the leader? I love that.
so funny. That's good.
Okay.
10 out of 10.
All right, let's do a tough
Have you
one,
been
too.
Superman for Halloween, Jones?
No, man.
Ever?
He loves Batman.
Obviously, but you
But
can
why
love
would
We
you
both.
talked about the
Superman.
curl though, Boston.
Yeah.
You could play. That's what you gotta do. You spray that curl, and then you can do.
And you put off leadership vibes.
You can do some. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the hair. The hair is why you're thought to be the leader.
Yeah.
Is he the leader? You just have like I guess you just have a visual quality to you, Jones.
Just the voice though. If
The
I was to do a
authoritative
voice for someone, I
voice.
couldn't do Batman. I could do a Superman voice though.
What?
If I was to voice a character,
You do
from
a
the
great
DC
Batman
universe.
voice.
Actually, probably be more Green Lantern though. That's really the cosplay I want to do.
Green Lantern.
Jones
I really
loves
want to
Green Lantern.
cosplay Green Lantern
'Cause of the-
I really
you
want
got the
that
Grandma
suit
sides,
because
too,
I don't
I
want to
guess.
half-ass a Green Lantern outfit. You know, I don't want to like throw it together. Like I'd want to no
Cosplay.
spend a little
Top
money
tier.
on that
We're talking
cosplay.
skin tight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jones, we got to make this happen, dude. Here's the
love
tricky
to.
thing. Green Lantern has white eyes.
What?
Green Lantern has white eyes.
Well, yeah, because of the mask. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can put him in the mask.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Deadpool works. Deadpool is the first time I've ever seen white eyes actually look cool in a movie. Like, maybe you can do some cool Green Lantern eyes.
Spider-Man
Oh,
have
they
white
did
eyes?
it Dark Knight, the end of
Yeah.
Dark Knight. I thought that was really clever. How they like.
Oh, well,
made
they was like,
Batman's eyes white.
yeah, it was cheating.
It worked.
Deadpool worked. Okay, all right. We got a tough question, too.
Deadpool's good. That Dark Knight movie.
No, just the way that.
All right.
So when you read comic books and you're looking at cartoons and they have white eyes, it's like it looks really cool. And then when you see movies, it's like, why does Batman have pupils? And so when they finally made a movie where a comic book character had white eyes and they were expressive and it was so cool, I couldn't believe my eyes. Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Oh, you know what? We got to do this one instead because of our conversation. Hey, allies,
Okay.
look, I know no one cares about NBA 2K, but hear me out. Recently, there was an event where you could earn in-game currency. People were grinding the event to get hundreds of dollars in real-world money. In response, 2K took away everyone's virtual currency, resulting in negative balances because everyone had already spent their VC.
Oh, God.
Allies, has there ever been a situation where a developer took currency from a mass amount of people, or is this something scummy on a whole new
I
level?
cannot
LNR
think of anything
Andrew?
like that.
That's so funny.
That is hilarious.
Wait, but did they then like charge people the negative amounts?
Of
You
VC,
owe us money.
of the virtual
So you just had to like play your way out of the hole.
Yeah, you grind your way out of the hole to buy any new booster packs or anything. Digital debt.
All I can think of is EVE Online just has some crazy stories about the developers trying something or people within the company doing things and their community's like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, the alien invasion, right? It
Or,
just
like-
happened and like people got wiped out.
EVE Online has like in-game Ponzi schemes every so
Yeah, yeah,
often
yeah.
and like crazy stuff for like real world like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
But it's the same kind of thing.
It's
None of us will
incredible.
ever experience it firsthand
Yeah.
because we just don't play it.
Yeah, it's such
I
a bummer.
used to play it.
Same
I'd
at
love to
Eastern
kick off the
College.
podcast with this. You know, this headline doesn't penetrate. This is what kind of we're talking about when we're talking about impact.
Yeah.
This is so funny. They had an event to earn real life
That's so
dollars.
funny.
That's already so.
Because I was
so
following
exciting and
along
stupid.
with like the gambling stuff for a bit.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear this part.
I know,
So
man.
what
This
the
is
heck?
such a fun headline.
But did they look back and they were like, whew, that was a mistake? Or were they like, haha? You know, like,
Who? 2K?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they were like, that's a mistake. And
Well,
this
we're not
now,
going to do that again, but
Oh,
it's
yes.
like, it's just the nature of this crazy biz.
Never,
the
never
nature of
again.
this franchise.
Okay. Wow. It is time for bets. Next week's bet. We're looking at Journey to the Savage Planet releasing on Tuesday, January 28th. I'm going to look at the top 10 most recent reviews on OpenCritic. How many times will I see the word funny? Journey to the Savage Planet, looking for the word funny. Brandon Jones.
5.
4,
6.
3.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Ian.
I crossed out 3 before we started shooting and wrote 6.
Whoa.
Oh, cool.
So that means
3, 4,
if
5,
it's
6.
you
no.
get super points?
You would get double points.
I'm glad you're on the
Sick.
bottom because
Yeah.
I'm stuck.
All right, I'm going to lock that in.
Worthless.
Jones, you got that sound effect?
I do. I'm sorry. I deleted it. Because
You want me to do it?
I deleted because we didn't do it for a long time.
'Cause we
So
were
I
doing
I dumped
Aura
it
Wars
out
for
of the
so long.
sequence,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
bring it back in. Yeah.
Do you want
My
Brad
bad.
to do it
Yeah,
now?
I can do
My
it.
bad.
I can just do it. Ready?
Yeah. Brad's got it. Okay.
I'm gonna add it to that.
Sick.
All right. Last week's bet was about Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which released last Friday. We bet how many Saiyans would be on the back of the box. Jones bet 3 Saiyans. Damiani bet 7 Saiyans. Ben bet 4. I bet 4. Ian bet 13. Do you two have a guess how many Saiyans are on the back of that box?
Like 7 Saiyans.
2.
There are 13 Saiyans on the back of that box.
What?
It's like every saying ever.
Yeah.
That's a home run, Ian. Woo! That's a hole in one.
The way I
Yes.
thought about that bet was low or high. It was
Yes.
either literally gonna be 1 and just like no
10.
screenshots and just literally just like a 1 character play.
Yeah.
Or just
A lot of screenshots. A lot of
45.
screenshots with multiple Saiyans.
I don't even know if there's that many in the game.
There aren't. It's got a lot of Gokus.
Oh, is there multiple versions of Goku?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Well, and he said that multiple shots of one would count.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I was like, there's not even that many, I don't think.
Yeah. So yeah, we got hosed on that one. That's it.
Wow.
Ian, you crushed it.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Ian's I hesitate to say on fire, but just carrying that,
Heating
that
up.
2019 energy
Heating up.
into
Heating
the
up.
new year.
Ian's heating up.
Yeah.
The Gorgeous Gorillas had a streak of I think 6 wins toward the end of last season, and I think most
4
of those
of those
were
were Ian,
Ian.
yeah.
Yeah. Pretty
Hey,
incredible.
Home
Taking
team
you
be
to the
feared.
table.
I strike out most of the time, and then I get a streak
Home team,
going.
baby.
Yeah.
Ian, have you played?
I'm hoping if I talk about it more, it'll stop it.
Yeah.
Ian, have you played craps?
No, I haven't played craps.
Okay.
I've played blackjack, and I've done, slot machines.
Don't try to
Alright.
get him to gamble with you.
You can't play
I'd-
craps
I'd
unless you're in
put-
like Nevada.
Huber, if we are ever in Vegas or whatever,
We'll play some craps.
we'll play some craps.
Cool.
I'll play.
Be
I don't
prepared
understand it.
for a lot of craps with Huber. Like long sessions of Huber gambling.
I don't like
Well,
this.
the way I do it, Huber, is I say like, this is the amount of money I'm putting
Exactly.
Right.
Me too.
That's a
me
good
too,
way
me
to
too.
do
in. Yeah.
Me too.
That brings our totals to Gorgeous Gorillas 2. Sick Owls 0.
Oh no, it's real sick.
It's not doing good. Time to talk about patreon.com/easyallies. That would be the website you would go to if you are interested in supporting the Easy Allies, if you want to find out the types of things we do, which is much beyond this very podcast. But hey, if you just like this podcast, you should know you could get this 2 days early. You could get it on Fridays as opposed to Sundays if you are part of our Patreon giving $5 or more per month. And also you get early access to many other shows besides this one. That's it. Brandon Jones, do you have anything special to tell to anybody about?
I do.
Are there some special people?
There are. And they deserve a shout out. Shout out to Elphanis, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Caleb Togi Crawford, Will Schmuck, and Mr. One Luigi.
Try not to laugh. The quiver lip.
Okay. So who is in?
Okay.
Oh yeah,
It's Ian.
Yeah, Ian is in the Ian
I
seat.
am in my seat.
Ian, you win the right and responsibility to share your Twitter handle with the world. You get
At
to
Ian Hink.
Oh, there we
With
go.
a CK.
Same
Last
thing.
week
I
you
was
did them
talking-
one at a time. So
I was
don't
talking
know.
over you, so let's do it one more time.
At Ian Hink on Twitter.
INCK.
HINCK.
You get to promote any Easy Allies video you'd like to promote.
Oh, geez. I mean, just watch our goatees next Tuesday. On Tuesday, if there's probably going to be a 10-hour deliberation, and then the video that I started working on it today of our awards, and then we're gonna stream live our personal picks. It's just so much work. We were there for 12 hours, dude. I'm so tired. And I got sick. It's amazing. Don't be mad at us. And if you're gonna, oh wait, I have a good final word.
Okay, yeah, that's the other thing you get is anything you've disagreed with, want to reiterate, just popped in your head.
You can't make an angry comment on the awards video until you've watched the 10-hour deliberations video. That's the rule.
I agree.
And you get to sign off with your trademark sign off.
Good night and good game.
Cloppity clop versus vroom vroom. There's no contest,
Clop versus room.